MMDC experts, and Amit sir. I would like to welcome all of you to a great presentation on the topic that reveals practical strategies that will help you form good habits, break bad ones, and master tiny behaviors that lead to big changes. So without wasting more time, let's quickly jump into the presentation. And over the next few minutes, I am going to share with you some interesting facts on the topic through my presentation. So now let's understand what is a habit. A habit is a routine of behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. Habits are routines and things that we do on a regular basis, some knowingly and some unknowingly. You won't need extra motivation if you have a habit because your mind just takes that particular action as the default things to do at a particular time of the day. If a habit is there, you will continue doing that thing even it's annoying or hard. A 2002 daily experience study by habit researcher Wendy Wood and her colleagues found that approximately 43% of daily behaviors are performed out of habit. For example, you don't really need extra motivation to brush your teeth after having your dinner, because if you have been doing it for 30 years, you just know that's what you do before you go to bed. We often hear once a mistake, twice a habit. No one wants to make mistakes consciously. When we continue to do certain things regularly, they become a part of our routine. Remember, habits and routines are mostly driven through our subconscious mind, and hence they have the power to either surprise us or destroy us. Nathaniel Emmons rightly said, habit is either the best of servants or the worst of masters. Habits can make you, but they can also break you. You become what you think about, but you also become what you do consistently. Those daily habits, some conscious, some unconscious, will determine if your life is successful or unsuccessful, and if our life is enjoyable or miserable. So why are habits important? Habits are especially important because we cannot rely on motivation, which will eventually go away. Sure, we get motivated by reading a new book or by trying a new game because it's fun, it's interactive, it's new and fresh. The novelty factor is always appealing to the brain and it helps us get started. But what happens after a while? When you cease to discover new things, you tend to get bored. As you advance further with your new interest beyond the beginner phase, things will get harder and you might not love your new activity as much as you did on your first day. The motivation slowly goes away. But by then, hopefully, you have developed a habit of doing it anyway. How are habits formed? You need a lot of discipline to remove negative habits or to replace bad habits with good ones. Any positive change in your life will be difficult to make happen. The good news is that changing or forming habits always get easier with time. Habits keep you going when the going gets tough and motivation drops. You just need the discipline to form that habit in the first place. For example, Arnold worked out all the time when he was young. So now it's very easy for him. In fact, it would be out of character for him to live less than once a week. How much easier do you think it is for him to work out than it is for someone who has never worked out before? The more you do something, the better you get at it. Habits tend to occur subconsciously, which means we don't think about them consciously. You don't think about the route you have taken every day for the last 6 years when you drive to your office. Driving that route is automatic. because you have built up a habit and your brain has established that neural pathway. As you drive, you know when to turn on your blinker, and you automatically know where to go and what to do at every intersection. So habits are well established when your brain stops spending resources on certain tasks. Established habits are simply a lower part of your thought process. You don't have to think about them to do them. Why small habits can make a big difference? Now it's very easy to underestimate that the value of making small improvements on a daily basis. Too often we convince ourselves that massive success requires massive action. We should Why should we try and get a little better each day? Well, because if you can get just 1% better each day over the next year, you will be 37 times better by the time you are done. Now, this applies to all goals, whether they are losing weight, winning a race, or starting a business. Habits are the compound interest of self improvement, the same way that money multiplies to compound interest. The effect of your habits multiplies as you repeat them. They seem to make little or even no difference or on any given day, but the impact they deliver over months or years can be enormous. Now, bad habits compound too. Putting off a project to tomorrow seems to make no difference, but when you repeat this type of 1% error day after day, these tiny errors can be compounded into toxic results. How to build a habit? Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. How in shape or out of shape you are, a result of your habits. How happy or unhappy you are, a result of your habits. How successful or unsuccessful you are, a result of your habits. What you repeatedly do ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality that you portray. But what if you want to improve? What if you want to form new habits? How would you go about it? Turns out there's a helpful framework that can make it easier to stick to new habits so that you can improve your health, your work, and your life in general. Now, we can actually split up the process of building habits into these four stages. Number one is cue, the second one is craving, the third one is response, and the last one is reward. The cue triggers the brain to initiate an action. The craving provides the motivational force. The response is the action or habit that we perform. And the reward is the end goal. And it's these four things, cue, craving, response, and reward, which leads to the four laws of behavioral change. These four laws are a simple set of rules we can use to establish new habits and are derived from the four stages of habit formation. Every habit you have is linked to these four stages. The first law is make a cue or source visible and obvious. To wake up early, you can put alarm on your mobile and keep it far so that you have to stand in order to switch it off. Further, it helps you to come in active mood. Craving needs to be attractive. To wake up early, you can add a unique reward to the completion of your goal. Like if you are able to wake up at 5 a.m. for the next 21 days at a stretch, you will buy your desired bestseller book. Then add it with other habits and routine that you will do exercise from 5:30 to 6:30 a.m., study from 7 to 8 a.m., and so on. When we make a routine our mind starts listening to us. Our subconscious mind is a very good follower if we give it a process to follow every day. Make your response or actions easy to do. Give yourself easy goal to achieve. If you wake up at 7 a.m., then don't give yourself a very big goal to wake up at 5 a.m. immediately. Divide your goal into smaller goals. Like for a week, you will wake up at 6:30 a.m. For the next week, 6:15 a.m. and so on till you reach 5 a.m. target. Reducing the friction makes it far more likely for you to do the thing. Give yourself a reward so it feels satisfying. The cardinal rule of behavior change is what is immediately rewarded is repeated and what is immediately punished is avoided. If you are able to wake up at 6 a.m. for a week, then on Sunday, you will go out for a movie. Giving small rewards to small goals is attainable and progressive way of creating a good habit. How to change a bad habit? Let's have a look. This four-step process is not something that happens occasionally, but rather it is an endless feedback loop that is running and active during every moment you are alive, even now. The brain is continually scanning the environment, predicting what will happen next, trying out different responses, and learning from the results. The entire process is completed in a split second, and we use it again and again without realizing everything that has been packed into the previous moment. We can invert these laws to learn how to break a bad habit. Inversion of the first law. That is, earlier I said, make the cue visible and obvious. Now just invert this law, make it invisible, make the cue invisible. Inversion of the second law, make it unattractive. Inversion of the third law, make it difficult. Inversion of the fourth law, make it unsatisfying. So by combining these laws and their opposites, we have got this diagram. The key to creating good habits and breaking bad ones is to understand these fundamental laws and how to alter them to your specifications. Change your habits, change your life. When a behavior is repeated often enough, a habit is formed. There is a famous idea that a new skill is learned by putting in 10,000 hours of work. But it's not that simple. The amount of time differs hugely between tasks and between people. What's for sure is that when it comes to making a habit, whether it's learning guitar or meditation, there is simply no substitute for repetition. The reason why bad habits are so hard to break is because you have literally woven new neural networks in your brain. That doesn't go away overnight. So give yourself a break. If you are trying to change a habit, know that it's usually best to try and replace bad behavior with a new behavior instead of just trying to erase the pattern altogether. The good thing is that now you know you have the power to change your brain. It's as easy as brushing your teeth. Look at successful people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Oprah, Mark Cuban, and any other highly successful human. They are successful because they are lifelong learners. They are committed to learning new things every single day. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest persons on the planet, is famous for reading more than 5 hours every day. Bill Gates read one book per week. Mark Cuban, 3 hours a day. Oprah is just obsessed with books. Notice the common theme here. Successful people never stop learning. Success is not about the money, the fame, or the big house. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. To develop habits, you must have a goal in your life, a purpose to live, a reason to get up early in the morning. The bridge between where you are and where you want to go is called as habits. Motivation will help you get started, but it's the habits that will keep you going. You have to choose between life-changing habits or life-destroying habits. Change your habits and you will see a big change in your entire life. Here, I would like to conclude my presentation with the great quote by Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely, your habits will change your future. Thank you all of you for staying with me during this presentation. Let's have a look to the next course of activities of this meet. There is a very interesting interview is coming over next few minutes. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manabendra sir, for this wonderful presentation. So now I would like to call Shabnam ma'am on stage.
Once again, good evening, everyone. I'm here to just to update some things about MMDC. Last week, you all have given a privileges, right? And this one more opportunity will be given to you. Why? Because it happens that when we when we like experts calling or accountability department, when we call you all, it happens that when you are busy, you are unable to receive your calls. So there's an opportunity when you are free, you can connect to us directly. Okay, you just have to message to Shreya ma'am, MMDC AP, that is accountability department. You can note down, or Shreya ma'am will be sharing this message in the group also. If you want to connect with the experts, you have to message to Shreya ma'am, MMDC EXP. If you want to connect with Amit sir, you have to message MMDC CEO. So AP for accountability department, EXP for experts, and CEO for Amit sir. If you want to connect accountability department, you have to write AP, you have to message. If you want to connect with the experts, you have to write EXP. And if you want to connect with Amit sir directly, you have to write CEO. Okay? Is it clear? Okay. So now, without wasting our time, so now let's move forward with our next agenda of the meet, which happens to be the interview of one of the amazing personality of our MMDC family, who has been an inspiration to many at a very short period of time. So without taking much of your time, let's move forward with that to witness the power of self-belief and conviction to achieve the fluency. So with a big round of applause, please welcome on the stage Sachin Jewel sir. He is from Mumbai and he is an assistant manager in an IT company. So please, Sachin sir, take the stage and all it's all yours. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shabnam ma'am, and hope the message is clear to everybody. Let's quickly move to the interview session. Good evening, Sachin sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
My question to you is, why video making is important?